Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future.
Hello.
What's going on, Miss Queen?
Oh, Mr. Rockstar, how you doing?
It's a rock star kind of day. I'm doing awesome. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm doing wonderful because it is Thursday night and I get a chance to co-host with you.
Hey, it's a gift. Yeah, we get to party. We get to have a good time and highlight a particular nonprofit organization and help expand people's minds. So what the hell, man? Let's rock and roll.
I know. And I see some people coming in saying hello. Okay. Hello. Yes. That's what they're doing now. Driving home, excited to watch. Yes, that's what I'm loving. I love that. Well, before we bring up our wonderful guest, because she is amazing, and I have her in other shows that I have. She has been under my network. She's just been all over the place. Mrs. LaChelle Adkins, America's Super Ma, and a lot of people I know out there. She's like a household name, Christopher, and you're going to love listening to her and talk about one of her things she does. This is just one hat about her nonprofit that she's sponsoring, but I want her to tell about all the other things she does too, because she is just a magnet when it comes to marketing, a magnet when it comes to networking, a magnet when it comes to coaching, all that stuff. All that good stuff. Yeah. Well, before we start, because I know we want to bring her on, but we're kind of tagging here, and I know you haven't been on for a minute being a co-host. So just real quickly, and I know you do this well.
What are you gonna ask me? What are you gonna ask me? I'm scared.
Just introduce yourself. You know how you do it, and you go right into speed mode. So just do a quick introduction.
No, I'm really learning how to talk slowly, Barbara. I'm learning how to gauge my cadence, because so many people say I talk so fast. So hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Healing Humanity Show. I am Christopher Rausch. I'm also known as the No Excuses Coach, and I host 2 podcasts every single week. One's called Raw and Unscripted with Christopher Rausch, and the other one's called The Unfiltered Experience. And I've been a part of Help Heal Humanity for 3 years now. I'm on the board of directors, and I absolutely believe and enjoy this particular thing we're doing here with the podcast, getting a chance to connect with you guys. And we love you guys and appreciate you guys out there in audience land. So please let us know what's on your mind and your hearts about how we can improve the show and what things we can do a little bit differently. We appreciate and love you guys, whether you're watching live or on the replay. I'm the No Excuses Coach. Back to you, Miss Barbara.
So you did this. You went up that hill, and then when you're coming down, you just went.
Well, you know me, I could talk about myself all day long. So I'm trying to just just go with the flow.
You did that speed at the end, though.
I know. It's tough. I get so excited. I just want to talk and just get all the things out of my brain. It's about to just go, but
I know that. I know.
I'm co-host mode now. I'm usually host mode, so I'm co-host mode, so I get to just chill out a little bit more.
Just chill. Yeah.
Let you drive the boat.
Well, no, us. We come as a package. Yeah.
Yes.
But real quickly, I'll say myself. My name is Barbara J. Beckley. If you don't know me, I am TV and producer of the Diamond Experience Factor Media Network. I am also a purpose and visibility and social media strategist, and I'm just a cheerleader for people in general.
You're the best cheerleader ever. I swear to God, your personality and your energy and your enthusiasm and your passion is unbridled.
See, if we were to help you give a hug, I need the hugs.
It's a hug. Yeah, hug from California.
Hug. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would love to go to California right now. Compared to where I'm
Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, but you know what? It's funny because usually it's like 20 degrees around this time and snow.
Yeah.
Because we're in January. We're 55 degrees.
It's been freezing here. Actually, it was 32 degrees last night here in Southern California.
Oh, that is too funny.
I mean, high is like 57. It's crazy.
And we're getting that's weird because what you're not getting, we're getting here, and we're supposed to be in the cold. Like, it's crazy. People say,
and we started making cheese recently too, so we're going to take the cheese away from Wisconsin too. Gotcha.
Now you don't know. You don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm. No cheeseheads in California. Well, we got a bunch of cheeseheads and politicians. So, anyways, I digress.
We don't want to start that. We don't start that. But anyway, so now that we talked about cheese, we talked about weather, we talked about each other. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now we got to bring in our star here.
Yes.
So Mrs. LaChelle Adkins, like I said, she is just hats on hats. I know she's dear to my heart because, like I said, she just does so much for people in general. One thing I didn't even know about, like all the stuff I know about, I didn't even know when she came and said she wanted to be on the show to talk about her wonderful organization that she's supporting called PanCan, and they're raising money for pancreatic.
Pancreatic. Spit it out. Come on.
Pancreatic, right? I gotta say it slow. Cancer. And she's a proactive in that area for the health for that. She's been doing it for a while. She is also a podcast and TV producer as well. Awesome. But she really wants to, talk more about this wonderful organization that she's supporting. And we're going to learn a little bit about that, a little bit about her. So let's give our sponsors just a little love, just a little bitty love, just a little bit of love. And then once we put our sponsors out there, then we will bring on Miss LaChelle Adkins, America's Supermom. Here we go.
Help Heal Humanity is an internationally registered charity mindfully designed to provide the world's most vulnerable communities with access to education, food, support, and love. We build the infrastructure, develop the programming, and foster the global connections necessary to support the charity and future of the people in our project countries. Through unconditional giving, Help Heal Humanity achieves its mission to inspire and love those in need in a compassionate and sustainable way. Our vision is to make conscious giving a widespread global practice through kindness and servitude. Get involved now and be part of our Help Heal Humanity family.
And we are back. Yes.
Yes. Welcome to the show, LaChelle. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. And it's a pleasure to meet you. I love your energy. I'm like, hey, I need some of that. I got 10 kids still at home, and I'm like, in chill mode.
I wouldn't have any energy if I had 10 kids at home. I got one.
Look, I'm excited about 10 because we have 15, but it's just 10 at home now.
Wow, you are an angel already.
One thing, yes, more angel, queen. I mean, there's just a lot of hats I can give LaChelle, and they're all wonderful and amazing. But okay, enough of that. I want her to talk about her wonderfulness and amazingness. So first of all, LaChelle, thank you for joining the Help Heal Humanity show. Like I said, it was very nice to see that you signed up to be a guest. I was like, oh, she's coming on. And how did I know about this other thing that you're doing on top of everything else? that you're doing in the world. So give us a little bit about, some things about you, and let's go just dive into what you're, basically you're being, you're helping with this wonderful organization. So,
okay. Well, thank you again for having me, Barbara. I always love our conversations and collaborations, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Chris. But, I am the mother of 15 children, and I had a period in my life, 13 years exactly, where I struggled with depression. I was hospitalized 3 times. And so now I'm all about sharing strategies on how to turn that chaos of overwhelm and stress, depression with other women to confidence with a smile. So I am a coach. I am always about normalizing the conversation about depression, especially now after this global pandemic. It's hitting us even younger with a lot of our kids. I have a daughter who is 23 and she's struggling through that. And then, it's so normal in our household that my kids are like, I wonder if I'm depressed. You know what I'm saying? And so, not to make light of it, but it's just, we have mental health days here in our household, just to help them to understand that you can be a little off. It's not always a physical thing. It can be a mental thing where you need to rest, restore yourself, talk about some things, get them off your chest. And so that is really what I'm about on any platform that I can take that conversation. And so that is a little bit about me. And as an only child, I think I struggled with the fact that I was always just responsible for myself. So it was quite an adjustment to have a large family, to navigate through those relationships on a regular basis. And so there's so many things that I've had to learn that I just love sharing them with other people so that they can take that journey with me.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, I love, like I said, I know about your background. I'm so glad you share it with people. One of the things that I've been telling people is the second pandemic out there right now, and it's been there for a while, but people just really seeing it more so, is health, the health, mental health arena. And people are taking it more seriously now, which I wish they did a while ago. But I am glad finally it's coming up there saying, okay, this is a big problem. We need to stop acting like it's just okay, a little depression here and there and whatever, because that's not it. It's much more bigger than that. We have seen that with people basically to the point of just giving their own lives up. I mean, we've seen it in the past, just a few weeks, a month now. We know we can yell out a lot of people's names right now. And it looked like they were fine.
Right.
And you don't know. That's why I always tell people, do those check-ins. I always do a check-in. Yeah, you have to do it. So I'm glad that you're, like I said, you're on the forefront with that too, because you dealt with it yourself, and you make sure moving forward that you out there just, shouting out to the rooftops at how important it is. So I commend you for that. I really do.
Well, thank you. And, I love that you said the check-in, because that is what I do every day. I believe that you check in with a smile, and that's actually an acronym for the 5 areas that we really need to watch in ourselves and in other people. Because a lot of times people feel like, we can relate to depression. We've heard about it, but they don't know what to say or what to do. And so if you think about the elements of a smile, those are some key conversation points that you could bring up. And they are sleep, mood, inner voice, laughter, and energy.
Love it.
You can begin to ask them, hey, how much sleep have you been getting? Because there's a lot of things that we do that are downright crazy because we haven't had enough sleep. Sleep deprivation can really do a lot to your body. I read in an article that it can make you feel the same as twice the legal limit of alcohol from not having enough sleep. So, if you're wondering like, hey, something's a little off, ask them about their sleep. How are they feeling? What's their mood been? Send them a funny video, just anything to kind of break that loop that's going on in their head, so that they can, begin to start reflecting and kind of getting out of whatever it is that they're into.
I'm glad you mentioned sleep because this is a big no-no. I'm about to tell on myself. Yes, I'm about to tell on
I've been kicking your ass lately too.
I know. Chris has been kicking my butt through Facebook. And LaChelle, you're going to kick my butt now too. But
let's go for it, LaChelle. Let's get her.
Just the other day, I hate to do this, but this is a learning. Don't do what Barbara does, right?
Right.
So I was working on a big, huge project for video because I do videos and commercial editing and everything. And it was due the next day for another show. Well, I stayed up. I had 30 minutes of sleep.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
See, I told you gonna kick me. Mm-hmm. I'm saying it right here live too. Ooh. But anyway, I'm doing. I know the show. Like I can see you. Like
look, been there, done that, girl. Okay, been there, done that, and I'm just like, it is. Once you get into that cycle, it's kind of like being on a train that you can't get off. Mm-hmm. And there's just little things, like I went to a Zoom call today with Mike Vardy. He's a productivity specialist. He has this podcast and everything. And one of the things that he taught me years ago that I thought was so profound is that there's a difference between a task and a project. A task is something that you could do in 15 minutes or less. But a project is something that takes more than 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so the problem that happens with overwhelm is that we take on projects believing that they're tasks.
Yeah.
So we put ourselves under a lot of pressure saying, oh, okay, I just need to do this video. But you got to do the captions. You got to edit. You have to, take out the ums and all these different things. And so that's like 7 or 8 different tasks inside of one project. So even though you know it, that is not the same as the time that it takes to do it.
So true. So true. And I learned, yes, I felt the backslashes. I felt Chris on my back. I felt you on my back. I felt myself past everybody. They was like,
well, awareness is the first thing. So, hey, good thing you're aware. Okay.
Be kind.
Don't let your adrenals crash. If you let your adrenals crash, I did the same thing. I wore myself out twice and my adrenals crashed. And I went to the doctor and I was like, okay, what do we do to get them back? And he says, you need to rest. And I said, are you kidding me? I have like 18 million things that are on my plate. And he goes, well, you need to get 17.9 million off of your plate. And Lord knows I had to do it. And it was one of the most challenging experiences of my life, but I'm so grateful it happened because I was able to take a step back and realize how much I was doing for other people and not doing for myself. So you bring up a great point, especially with the conversation about depression and what everybody's gone through with the pandemic. Talk to us a little bit about that. You mentioned your daughter was experiencing that. What are some of the things that you're hearing about this pandemic depression that's going on? Actually, my wife and I were just dropping our son off at school this morning. He's 6 years old. And we were talking with a couple of other parents talking about how the kids were affected. The small kids were affected during the pandemic, not having an ability to have a voice or interact with other kids. Talk to us about some of that stuff before we dive into what you're doing with the Pancreatic Cancer Association.
Well, I think really the main thing is that, we really haven't taught our children and ourselves to be present.
Yeah.
We're multitasking, trying to go for that next promotion. Our kids are in front of us. We're on the computer. They're on their, iPad or video game. And so we've lost the element of even just being present. Sure. And when we take that time to just listen for about 10 or 15 minutes, the kids will go off and mind their own business. It's like back at how it was when I was younger. The TV went off at 9 or 10 o'clock. You just hear the buzzing. So we didn't have the TV. We were reading, we were drawing, we were doing things outside. And, a lot of that is just not going on today. Yeah. So I think the whole thing is conversation. I mean, I am so overjoyed with being able to have Clubhouse and LinkedIn audio. That's one of the things that has just been a godsend for me because I've been able to do things where I can have conversations with a lot of people all over the world and really talk about some of these hard topics that are very important. And so I think when we are not able to be present with our kids, they just kind of make up their own mind about stuff. And I just know there's a lot of things yesterday that I thought I knew and had a grasp on. And I find out today that was crazy. Okay. I didn't talk to enough people.
Eyes are open.
So you can only imagine what it's like for a kid trying to come up with some logical way of understanding life and, what's going on. So I really think it's about not being able to be present and talk to them and hear what some of the things are that are going on with them. That's just my take.
Love it.
Love it too. Just real quickly before you go into your foundation, is that, I had to put some really love out there, like you said, about the children going through this pandemic. Now, us as adults, I mean, we were already like, in the house, stuck and all that stuff. Then you have the young ones, like you said, the teenagers and young, and they have to deal with it too. And they're probably looking at some of the adults like, okay, you need to get it together because
you're setting the example. That's such a great point. Are the parents setting the example for the kids? And most times they're not. They're just thinking like, do as I say, not as I do.
So true. Yeah.
And they're sitting there.
Well, and I think it's a hard thing because, we've never been through a pandemic before. So, everybody is learning in real time at the same time.
True.
And so, what do you tell your kids when they can't go to prom? I mean, I had that experience with some of my children, or, their graduation is not in person, it's virtual, things like that. So, you just really have to be present enough to explain to them what you don't know, that it's okay not to know, but that you're just going to figure it out together. I mean, you have no choice. If you are someone who is driven and has that ability to persevere, you just do it and understand that you're going through the experience together. It's new. You can make some mistakes. Some things might be a winner, but you just never know. But you have each other at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Yes. So now we're going to go to some more awesome. So now this other thing, like I said, your other hat, you're just being just a wonderful world changer with the organization that you're helping raise funds for. So tell us a little bit how you got into it and how people can help out and all that good stuff.
Well, thank you so much for all that credit. I am just grateful because I got aware of pancreatic cancer through my co-founder of my club in Clubhouse. So we actually met as complete strangers. It'll be 2 years ago next week. And so we started this club. She reached out to me, wanted to help me with a room. And at that time, I thought that you had to have a room for 3 weeks. So I thought it was 21 days. So we had a room that we called How to Eat an Elephant in 21 Days. And so at that time, she was just getting done with her treatments and had just got the okay to go out into society. And that's when the world shut down. So I had no idea that she was going through depression, because she had like survival guilt and things of that nature. And she just didn't know how to handle what was going on. And so she reached out to me and just, we clicked and said, okay, we'll have this room. And so she's thinking she's just going to do it for 1 day. And I'm like, what's 21 days? And at the time, I had no idea that she just didn't know how she was going to make it through every hour. So we had this club. It's going on 2 years on the 25th of January. And we have grown so much. I think it was like maybe 3 months into the club before I even knew that she was a pancreatic cancer survivor. Because when we came together, we just came together to help other people. The name of our club is the Elephant Strategy Club, and we talk about the elephants in the room, the hard topics that people don't want to talk about. And we do it in love, nurture the environment. And so we had this room, and it really was like therapy for both of us. And later on, I found out that she had pancreatic cancer. So at that time, she had been a part of walks with PanCan before. But last year, they were working to start a walk in her area, Richmond, Virginia, for the first time. And so I really encouraged her. I was like, you should do this, because she's so well spoken. But she'll tell you a different story. She'll say, I didn't know, I was like tripping over my words on, in the club. But I mean, I never even noticed. And she's very well spoken and just so compassionate and empathetic with other people. And I just encouraged her to, do what she can to help out. And so they had their first walk in Richmond last April. And so I was able to go with her, me and 2 of my daughters, to join her on that walk. And now we're actually doing it again this year. Our goal is to raise $7,000. And so, it's a lot of people in the area coming together doing it, and we're excited.
That is beautiful, LaChelle, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. Pancreatic cancer is one of those cancers that really goes, that it gets to a point where it's already, stage 4 before you even realize what some of the symptoms are. What are some things you've learned about pancreatic cancer that you could share with our viewers and our listeners that perhaps can help educate us and be a little bit more aware of our own bodies and our own things that are going on in our lives?
Absolutely. So I'm going to get my little notes here because she sent them to me before I got on tonight.
Nice.
And
I was going to ask the question.
I can't memorize it, y'all. So, hey, but one of the things that I will say is that she was given a 9% chance of survival. This was in 2018.
9%?
9%. She is now cancer free, and it has been 4 years. It'll be 5 years in July.
Wow, that's tremendous.
So she's just a walking miracle. I love it. I'm so inspired by her, because you just would never guess. You see her, you hear her talk, and she's just the greatest thing. I mean, but one of the things she says is that in African Americans, they're more at risk according to the statistics.
Wow.
So once you're diagnosed, the chance of survival is now 11%, and that's to live 3 months to a year.
Oh my God.
So the 5-year survival rate is now 12%. So I think she was given like 7% or something to survive.
Oh, wow.
But now she's up to 12%, and this is her 5th year in July. And so January is Clinical Trial Awareness Month. And so she was actually in a clinical trial, and her trial time expires in July of this year, 2023. And so approximately 64,000 people a year in America are diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's why the word has to get out. And this is what I love. Real quickly, I'm going to keep letting you go, LaChelle, but just to say, this is what I love about this show. This is what I love about like you and Chris and helping everybody, is that getting the awareness out. That's what's so important, because all these nonprofits we've been bringing on, LaChelle and Chris, I've been learning so much, because some of them I didn't even know they existed, or the things that they're working towards or helping towards, that it was there. So this really just needs to be like shouted out. And just when you said 9%.
Well, and I think, when we're thinking about some of the symptoms, which I don't have a list of that, but I'm glad y'all put the link up, and so people can go and check. But, when you think about a lot of these symptoms and things, they are masked. This is what Summer says. They're masked a lot to look like other things.
Yeah.
So the way that she was diagnosed, she had went to the doctor. She wasn't feeling well, and her sister had gallstones. And so she was telling the doctor she wasn't feeling well, and her doctor thought it was indigestion. So she told her to just take something, and she should be fine. So when she went to leave, she said, my sister had gallstones. Do you think it could be that? And so they said, well, let's just do an ultrasound or something. And so when they did that, that's when they found out. So, you just have to be in touch with your body. A lot of these things, I believe that a lot of the disease, we're talking about pancreatic cancer, but, the same thing can happen with depression or stress, sleep deprivation. A lot of these things we can do to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we're not setting our body up for success to thrive in some way. So whether it's this or something else, I'm really passionate about cancer. My dad died from lung cancer 7 years ago. So me and my family, we used to do a lot of things around children's cancer, because I wanted them to be engaged and understand that you still can do something. We could talk about it. It doesn't have to be a sad time, because there's things that we could do for other people. And now that we have, found another family member, which is what we believe Summer is, we can now help with pancreatic cancer.
That is beautiful. What are some of the things you've learned about being in the nonprofit space that you would give suggestions to other people thinking about starting one for themselves? I hear a lot of people lately, I want to start a nonprofit. I want to start a nonprofit. What are some things you've learned about your experience in doing that? What advice would you give the viewers or listeners that are watching this program right now?
Well, I would say, there are so many different needs that we have in the world, and a lot of people feel like, it's not going to make a difference. There's already somebody out there doing it or whatever, whether this is nonprofit or regular profit. My husband is a pastor, so our actual nonprofit is our church, but just understanding that everybody has some need that they probably can feel with something that they're doing. The second thing is realizing that you don't have to do it alone. I know when we first got started with our church, it was very overwhelming with the paperwork and how you have to get your 501c3. And so you don't have to do that alone. You can have other people help you in that process. And I believe that's how it really works a lot smoother, is understanding that it's about collaboration. One of the problems I had with depression was thinking that I had to do it all by myself.
Yeah.
Now I admit openly, hey, I don't know anything about technology or some other thing that I'm not good at, because I think if we all come together with our zone of genius, that we can accomplish so much more and have such a greater impact. So I think a lot of people just feel like what they want to do doesn't matter. But I think everybody coming together, doing whatever it is that you feel passionate about. And if you have a voice, because, we go through these experiences in order to raise awareness. If Summer didn't tell me about pancreatic cancer, I wouldn't have known anything about it. So I think it's important that we realize that people can't read our minds. We don't have to wear our situations on our sleeve. However, there are certain things that we can do to educate people to help them understand and avoid some of the pitfalls that we went through.
Beautifully said. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And I there's one thing, and just to add to that with nonprofits, I love, Chris, how you asked the question to LaChelle and everybody else is, pick something that's a passion of yours. That's one thing I would say too, because when you just pick saying, oh, I just want to help the world and just pick whatever, I feel like you don't have that that push as you would if you would have picked something that's, thinking that's what you want to do. Don't get into something that you're kind of like, well, I just did it because I wanted to help. That's nice, but you're not going to put your all into it, or especially if you're going to start one, if it wasn't something that you had a passion about, that you wanted to help to be a world changer.
So true, because, it's a long process. I recently wrote a book, and Summer did the foreword for me, and I'm just indebted to her for that. But I think, people just say, hey, I want to do this. And then they forget that, it's a lifelong thing. That book is going to be around forever. It's a legacy for my kids. So I don't have to get into this whole thing. Okay, what's the next thing? We should be really enjoying what it is that we're doing and realizing that it's not a race, that we're in this for a lifetime, so taking that time to really get into enjoying your passion and figuring out how you can make a difference in the lives of other people, just one day at a time.
So beautifully said.
So beautifully said. Yes.
Stop copying me.
We're co-hosts.
Great minds think alike.
Thank you. Making me feel all bad over here.
Writing a book with 10 kids in the house. Oh my God, you should write a book on how to write a book with 10 kids in the house. Oh, I've been writing that book for 2 years.
My husband is a published author too. He just had a book come out.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm gonna tell you, the answer is pray without ceasing. That's my husband's book.
Nice, beautiful.
And it's a lot of praying. Even with just one child, talking about what? It's 14 more. Every time we say that, it's like Chris's head is like, okay,
I have one in my poof. Just trying to get him to put his clothes on. I'm like, I can't imagine no.
It's never a dull moment. Look, just what you're going through times 9, right? Yeah. So
you're a saint. Like. You must drink a lot of alcohol and smoke a lot of pot. I don't know. I'd be I'd be in a straitjacket with my hands behind me, probably.
Chris, what'd you say?
I'm just being serious.
I just caught what he just said. Like, what?
That's what I'm talking about. So thank you for being such a light in people's lives. I mean, LaChelle, that's truly commendable. I'm all about that. That's why I joined Help Heal Humanity, was the fact that together we can make a difference, no matter what color we are, what size we are, what sexuality we are. Together we are humanity, and together the sooner we get that solidified and put that out in the world, the better the world will be. And not to follow the news and politics and hear all that BS that we hear about that the world is really a beautiful place, and that's what we intend to do, to leave it for our kids and our kids' kids. So thank you for being that light.
Yes,
I appreciate that. Now, so are you going to play some music for us? You're the second person this week that I've had guitars in the background.
Really? Oh, I thought I was the only one. Yeah,
no,
actually,
Sia, she's on here. She is in the comments.
Oh,
but
nice.
She has a guitar too. She, yeah. So,
I like the F cancer.
Do you play?
Actually, I have 11 guitars in my house, and I haven't played in 3 years, but starting January, I did start playing again. So I want to be a good example for my son, because I don't want to tell my son to have to practice and study and have him go, Dad, you have all these guitars and you don't do it. So congruency is big with me. I'm actually a coach as well. So I dusted off the guitars. I bought some new strings, and I've been practicing. I used to practice for half an hour, 45 minutes. And I'm like, every day for just 15 minutes, Chris, just 15 minutes. If you're just sitting there on the TV, watching, Netflix or whatever, practice your chords so you can be a good example for your kid. And that one day I could pull one of these things off the wall and play a song for somebody.
Well, look, y'all need to get together and play. You and Sia. She's on there. Sia, I'm giving y'all an introduction.
Yeah, there we go.
The same thing. She stopped because she was in corporate, and she said she couldn't do it because of her nails, but now she can play.
Come on.
So I'm looking forward to y'all having a concert.
Let's do it. We'll do a duet. We
can raise some money for a charity.
Oh, dude, they would raise money to shut us up. At least me. Be like, you shut up. You
have 11 guitars, so you're better than what you're saying. Because who would buy 11 guitars if they couldn't play? Come on now.
Half of them were given to me, and I like them as artwork around my house.
Okay.
Yeah, I was the idiot that punched a brick wall when I was like 12 years old, and I fractured my metacarpals. So trying to play the fretting is a little bit difficult because I smashed my fingers. So
no excuses, Chris.
I know. That's what I'm doing. I'm practicing. Look at that.
You tell them, LaChelle. You tell them.
Yeah, these three work really good.
I'm the wrong one. Look, I'm the wrong one to tell that to. Mm-hmm. I saw this thing it was a meme on Facebook, and the person was in the casket, and they worked for Walmart, and they said, "So you mean to tell me you're not coming in?"
Oh yeah, you're fired. Yeah.
No, I'm dead.
You gotta live life. You gotta live life and have fun.
So true.
Oh, this is fun. This is okay. We still got to give you some more love, LaChelle. So usually what we do. Oh God, Chris, y'all crazy.
What?
We're taking it to me. I'm gonna take myself and Chris down for a minute, and I want you just to say from your heart anything, last thoughts, and then we'll bring you back up and close. But
Sounds
anything.
Good. Okay. Well, thank you so much again, Barbara, for this opportunity, and I want to thank everybody who is here with us right now. And I just want to tell you, we're talking about pancreatic cancer, but one of the things that's important is to survive. And when we survive over anything, whether it's depression, whether it's cancer or any other ailment, a lot of times we just don't know how to live life as a survivor. And so I have an acronym that I have for survive, because we all have survived over something. It could be a breakup. It could be a divorce. It could be a number of things. And so when you think about survive, think about these elements that you could bring to the table that can help you be a light for other people. The first thing is speaking up, telling your story. Other people don't know what you've overcome because they feel like they're alone in their own issues. So when you speak up, you're a light to other people by sharing your story. The next thing is unity, understanding that you're not alone. A lot of times when we get in our own headspace, we isolate ourselves and we feel like we're the worst. We have the worst situation. We're victims. Nobody understands where we're coming from, but we have to remember to have unity. The next thing is then taking reflection, some time to think about what would I do differently? Or how can I share what I've learned to other people? When we take time to reflect and think about where we've come from, we realize how blessed and how much gratitude that we can have to keep moving forward. The next thing is vision. This is something that I witnessed with my friend Summer, who is a pancreatic cancer survivor. It's just really making sure that she had a vision to understand what was the next thing. So we have this saying that's in our club that it says, just do today. Because sometimes when we think about vision, we think it has to be years down the road. It has to be, this decade that we're doing. But if you're thinking about vision, it could just be 24 hours. It could just be the next hour. It's about having that purpose and continuing to move forward till you get to that goal so that you have momentum to keep moving. The next thing is inspire. So when we think about inspiring other people, it's about us being vulnerable about how we're feeling, what we've experienced, because people can't relate to perfection. If we talk about how everything goes right, we can think in our own mind and our own households a million things that go wrong. And so it separates us from other people more so than connects us. So when we talk about the real issues and we're vulnerable about the things that we experience, it helps us to be inspiring. So if I say, hey, you know what? I got 10 kids. They're in the background making a bunch of noise when I'm trying to do a video, right? People can relate to that. It makes them have fun and feel engaged and feel like, you know what? If she's doing it, I can do it. It eliminates the excuses. The next thing is value, understanding that your story has meaning, not just to you, but to other people who may be experiencing what you're experiencing, or it could help them avoid what you're experiencing. It could help them eliminate some of those months or steps out of depression because you know how to talk to them, or you can give them some tools so that they can get past some of the hard times with other people. And then the last thing is education. As I mentioned at the beginning, what are the risks? What is it that the society is saying about your illness or things like that? People need to know so that they can have some ways that they can be proactive with their own health so that they can live better, healthy lives.
Amen, amen, amen. No excuses, coach. Endorsed. Hell yeah. I talk about people being kick-ass on stage. You, my dear, are officially kick-ass. Boom.
Oh, so thank you.
Thank you for shining your light.
My head is not going to fit on the screen. You're making it get big.
You're a beautiful soul. You're a beautiful soul, and the world needs you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I never say anything I don't mean. So thank you for doing what you're doing. Truly.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
And you know what I was gonna say, even in the little box that you're in that you're showing on the screen, you have enough room for your head to blow. There's enough room. There's enough room. Just letting you know.
I appreciate that.
You deserve it. You deserve it because you are amazing and you do so much. And Chris, like he said, Chris is right. He just don't tell it to anybody. So that's like, yeah.
I never tell Barbara that.
I know. I still haven't got it, LaChelle.
Look, we're gonna stay on them about that guitar. Okay, so I'm excited. We're gonna listen. Look, one of these Thursdays, you're gonna be serenading everybody.
Sure. Lose a lot of listeners, but okay. Like, damn, he really does suck. He wasn't kidding.
It is something about
he wasn't being
music.
Proud.
Really, it's something about music. It really gets people excited. Really,
my favorite thing, music.
Yeah.
We've got a microphone right here. See? Microphone plugged into my own. I've got musical notes here. I've got a guitar on my other one. Yeah, I love music.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
So, do you write music?
I used to a long time ago. Yeah, I was intending on being a musician, but then I realized that my talent wasn't lying there, and then I became a professional speaker. So I was able to still use my words and my actions to stand in front of audiences and thousands of people and be able to inspire them. So it became the same way. My journey was a little screwed up a little bit, but at the end of the day, yeah, but I still love music. I mean, I still want to write music. I still have an intention of taking like 10 songs and covering them and doing them my own way, singer-songwriter style. So yeah, music's in my blood. It's been my medication. It's been my why. It's gotten me through so many things and times in my life. Yeah, it's and it brings everybody together. Like you said, regardless of any political thing or anything else, you get everybody at a concert, everybody's there to take care of one another. Music brings people together, and so do animals.
I love that. Now, so tell me, what are some tips that you would give people for? I'm sorry, Barbara. I'm over.
Oh, hey, that's okay.
This is gonna become the LaChelle show.
I am a podcast.
Give me that microphone. What kind of tips would you like?
But some tips for people that, when you're talking about charities and things like that, and when they have a platform, what are some tips to help them? Because some people get like, oh, I don't want to ask them for money or whatever. So what advice would you give them about
Get out your own way? Just stop thinking about it. Stop getting in your brain about it. Stop worrying about the past. Stop worrying about all those past agreements that you made in your head about the negativity that you might experience. Go out there and put yourself out there, because there's 8 billion people on the planet, and there's your audience is out there somewhere. And if people are naysayers in your life, you're like the 5 people you're around the most. Take a check at those. If those 5 people aren't supporting you and telling you to go out there and take chances and risks, get 5 new people, and it's amazing what it can happen in your life. I've seen it so many times, and I've seen it in my life too. My life was headed down a bad track. I was going to wind up in jail or in a pine box, and I ultimately had to take care of myself. And then I got around the right people, and I went back to school. And I'm sitting here in front of you guys today, a very happy man in my life and very successful. So you just got to get out of your own way. You got to get the right people in your life. You got to go take chances. You got to live your life, not exist in it. And you can't play the someday game. Everybody's playing the someday game. Like, someday I'll do when this is that, and then this is that, and I'll go do that. People die every single day with their music still inside of them. So don't die with your music inside of you guys, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for that question.
Love that. Love that.
Thank you.
I'm fired up, y'all. Hey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I do. I get people fired up. I talk too fast, but I get them fired up.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, America Supermom, you are always welcome to come back. Your family now. We love you. For me, just on everything else you do with me. But if you need to come back, talk more about what you're doing with the organization, how's things moving and progressing. We'll love to have you back to hear that, and just all the other wisdom that you give. So it helps. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And our walk is April the 29th. And it's in Richmond, Virginia. So people can join the team. They can walk where they're at. They could do it virtually. They could get on Instagram. It's all about having that day that is just purple everywhere. So there's so many things that people can do to help raise awareness. So we would love for them to connect with us.
Thank you. If you got a link, when you get a link, let us know, and we'll make sure it gets posted on Help Heal Humanity.
Okay.
Yes, we will definitely do that. Definitely
I'll be doing that after this show, because me doing stuff right away.
Oh yeah,
smart woman.
You taught me that. You taught me that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Take action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, with this said, we're gonna go to our sponsor real quickly, and me and Chris will be right back to close out.
Thank you, LaChelle, so much.
So much. We appreciate
Mad
you.
respect.
Bye, guys.
Raise your hand if you've ever been busy. Raise your hand if you've ever got tired and feel like you just need a couple days off. Most people would have both hands up right now. That's our world, fast-paced and income-driven. That's why we get caught up in our own lives so often, and that's why it's understandable when most people don't focus on worries that aren't their own. So what makes someone become a humanitarian? Someone whose whole life focuses on the welfare of other humans.
When you go back and you see kids that were living on the streets, kids had no structure, they had no routine, people who had nothing, they didn't have meals. When you see that they're all of a sudden they're waking up, they have structure, they have something to do, they have a meal in their belly, their life changes completely. They like I said, their self-esteem changes, their self-worth, their ability to know who they are in the world and what they have the potential of becoming, to give that hope, to give that dream, and then to watch people actually use that to do good for themselves and others it's amazing. It becomes an addiction.
And with Serena's help, we'll find the meaning of life to a humanitarian.
We're back. We're back for
the attack. Miss Barbara Beckley. Awesome guest. I love LaChelle.
Yes. How you like the new background that was created?
I love it. I was checking it out when we were first launching the show. It looks beautiful. Perfect.
Thank you. See, when I get the okay from you, I know that I'm on a right.
I'm a graphic designer, please.
Well, that's what's even better.
Yeah. No, the coloring is good. Everything's good. I love it.
It's a new, I always say just real quickly, since it's a new year, I always try to do new things every year with all the shows and what I'm doing and the branding and everything. So I am glad you like it. And, just we have to, bring it out new, bring it out, do something different. So, but I want to, before we sign off, any golden nuggets for us today, because I know this is January. A lot of people are like, okay, I gotta get my, to-do list, and I gotta get all this done, and it's the beginning of the year 2023, what I gotta do, and then it goes downhill, and in February it's like whoosh, everything kind of goes haywire. So since you are Mr. Coach, Mr. Rockstar, just give like one little tip about that.
One little tip about life. I would say have your legacy in mind at all times when you're thinking about what it is that you want to do. So what is your legacy? When you think about your life and the ultimate ending of your life, how do you want to be remembered? What do you want to be remembered for? And when you wake up in the morning, the first thing I want you guys to do is to say what you're grateful for. Before my eyes even open up, I say what I'm grateful for. And the next thing I do is I set the intention for the day, set the intentions for the day. So I set the intention to be present and playful with my son. I set the intention to use my words and my actions to make the world a better place, because ultimately my legacy, which I actually wrote my eulogy, is this: that Christopher Rausch will have fought for what was right and what was fair. He will have risked for which that mattered, and he will have left the earth a better place for who he was and what he did. So when I think about the goals and I think about going after things in my life, does it fulfill that legacy? Yes or no? And if it does not fill that legacy of ultimately what I want to be remembered for, you have to establish boundaries and say, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. And the thing I implore upon everybody is to do, and I love how LaChelle said it, she was talking about getting sleep. My things are this, and I found this out in the last couple of years during the pandemic. Number one, people struggle with loving themselves. So number one, you got to love yourself. Number two, your sleep is important. So I actually have a sleep ring that I actually use that tracks my sleep. It tells me my REM sleep, my deep sleep, tells me how many times I wake up. So I can know if I eat something before I go to bed, then I don't get any deep sleep. I know to eliminate that for myself, because sleep is the most important aspect of life, or most, but yeah, really it is. And the deep sleep is the restorative sleep. The next thing is exercise, getting your exercise, get it 30 minutes of raising your heart level, wherever you can possibly do, whether it's in your own house, at a gym, going for a walk, going for a bike ride, whatever it is that you enjoy, get that 30 minutes. I don't care if you don't have time, you got to make time to get out there, get outside and get vitamin D. Studies show if you have vitamin D deficiency, you'll have depression, you won't feel as good. And one of the big things that honestly everybody can do that a lot of people don't do is hydration. Your body's made up about 80% water, and so many people don't even drink any water. Yes, very good. So I'm not a doctor, but studies show half your body weight in ounces of water every single day. Even a 5% dehydration will cause you to think fuzzy. And oftentimes what people do is they don't feel like they're thinking very well, is they don't take any action. And what they do in order to ignore that is they go to their short-term gratifications. And then ultimately they wind up spinning and spinning and spinning, playing that someday game again. And there's a book out there called The 5 Regrets of the Dying. And the number one regret of the people who are dying with this hospice nurse, and you can check it out online, is the fact that they lived the life they thought they were supposed to live, but they didn't live the life they wanted to live. And then there was no more time left to make any action. So take care of yourself, surround yourself with some amazing people, do what floats your legacy. And I know that was more than one, but go do that. And if there's anything I can do for you, of course, you can just hit up noexcusescoach.com, connect with me on social media. I would love to connect with you, beautiful people. And thank you for that question, Barbara. So that goes to you too, Missy.
I know. Well,
yeah, I know, but I'm not going to do it.
No, see, when you call me out like that, really?
Let me see. Okay, I'm going to check on you every single 30 minutes of exercise, outside, sleep, hydration. Come on, sister. Okay, yeah. How many of you had today?
This is my fourth one for today.
Oh, you want to see something? This is 32 ounces. I've had 4 of these, which is a gallon. So, see my youthful skin? I am 75 years old. Look at my skin.
Well, look at mine. Mine is.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. You can.
We're both the same age. Oh boy, I hope the people not comparing. Be like, okay, he looks wonderful, and she looks like. Ugh.
No, you look like you're 35.
Oh, see,
yeah,
finally, I got 35.
I got gray hairs and stuff.
For men, that just makes you more wiser and more sexier. So this let that alone.
Not until you get the bags under your eyes, and then you start looking old. Come on now. What advice do you have for people in the new year? Come on. Don't put me on the spot. I'm not giving no advice. I don't walk my talk. Come on now. What are you going to do differently this year?
What am I going to do differently this year? Listen to you.
There you go. I'm your no excuses coach. You're done.
No excuse, we're done. And believe me, Chris is my no excuse coach forever and ever, because he is on me. How he's getting on me right now. He does this on a daily basis. which I love him for it. I wouldn't be right for Chris not to say stuff to me because I know he cares. And that's what I want to give him a good thing about that is get a coach or a mentor in your life that you know they might be on you, but they're doing it because they care. Yep. And they want to see you succeed. And I know Chris loves to see all his clients succeed. So again, 100%. He's the real deal. Real deal. Okay, I want my money now. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go. I'm fly. What is that? I've been. What was Exhibits, that show where you've been pimped? Yeah. You've been Pimp My Ride Exhibit, MTV, wasn't that?
Yeah,
Pimp My Ride. A bunch of stuff. MTV. Yeah, you've been.
Did I pimp you? Anyway, see,
I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
See, I could talk with you just back and forth.
Yeah, I was a comedian once upon a time.
Well,
then I found out I wasn't funny.
You said people say don't quit your day job or your coaching job.
You're like, shut up, Chris.
So you don't guitar anymore. You're not the comedian. Come on now. You got so many different talents.
I'm an amazing dad. That's all that matters.
Okay, well. Yeah. Well, one more tip from me, since Chris gave all his 1,000 tips in like 5 seconds of his talk. Pimp My Ride. That's what LaChelle. She said.
There you go.
What was I about to say? See, I'm getting foggy already. Let me drink some water.
You drink some water. Go get some vitamin D.
Let me sip more water. Get the fogginess out.
There you go.
Have fun. That's what I'm going to say. Like we're doing right now. We're going back and forth. We just have fun in life. Start with that. I mean, there's so many other things, like Chris said, wonderful things he said. LaChelle said some amazing things, but I'm just going to say and keep it just real and short. Just have fun. Yes. We got this one life. Live it the way the best of your ability. And that's what I say. I mean, when I was younger, I used to be so on me. When I was in my 40s, I used to be just like, oh no, I'm hitting half of 100. I mean, I was freaking out. What's you freaking out for, Barbara? Live every day and just live your life. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's all I'll say. But with that, it looks like we're going to be ending for tonight, but not forever because we will be back. So just to give everybody just a quick update for Help Heal Humanity, and Mrs. Serena will be back with me as co-hosting in February. Yes, I said February. That means we're going to be going for 2 shows per month. I think the 2nd and 4th, of every Thursday. And I am asking everyone, people to still support the show, still support Help Humanity. If you know anybody that wants to come on, just like the show came on tonight, and discuss your organization, because we're a family here. We're a family. We want to help each other out when it comes to helping changing the world. Right, Christopher?
Oh, absolutely. So
please come on. You can just messenger me through Facebook, wherever. I'm everywhere. You can find me. Mm-hmm. And then we'll make it happen and make it rock and roll and make you come on the show with us and, have these conversations. And just to remind everybody, when you help another person in life, you're helping yourself, because you're taking the gifts that you have in you and you're showing that love, as I tell people, and you're giving to somebody else so they can know that there is love. And guess what? There is hope for the world.
Yes,
with that said, Chris,
beautifully said.
Love you, my brother. You my brother.
Love you too. Can't wait to meet you in person one of these days.
Oh, that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's going to happen.
I hope you're not taller than me.
Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future.